Hello, my name is Nastasia Velasco and I'm the founder of Growth Vikings. Today we're going to talk about how to make your Scrum retrospective more effective. But before we begin, let us dive a little bit into who we are. So we're a bunch of nerdy and fun innovators with a pretty clear mission, and that is to unleash your clients and beneficiaries' creative talent to make innovative solutions into their teams, workforces, and communities through Agile. This is why we're usually helping organizations in their Agile team development, in the development of Agile mindsets, and in the creation of Agile strategies and implementing Agile. With that said, let us then talk about 10 recommendations to make your Scrum retrospective more effective. So you might have found yourself asking, well, what's going on with my team? They keep trying to improve the same thing sprint after sprint. Or why is my team leaving the retrospective learnings into a Word document, into a shared drive, rather than introducing those learnings into our sprint? Or maybe you have thought, has my retrospective turned more into an event that team members go to rather than a space to responsibly find bottlenecks, solutions, and opportunities to improve? If you have asked yourself these questions, maybe your retrospectives are not being that effective. And it's okay to be a bit frustrated about it, especially if you're trying to improve your team performance and your organization agility. But don't worry, we actually have thought about this and came up with 10 recommendations on how to make your retrospective more effective. So the first recommendation is to actually lead your retrospective and don't manage your retrospective. With this, we mean that try to mobilize your team members towards the vision of what is it that they want to achieve. What is that product? What is that service? What is that deliverable that they want to achieve? This can help team members to critically assess their way of working, the implications of that way of working, and if that way of working is paying off, it's helping them to achieve their vision. By doing this, you're mobilizing them and you're leading rather than managing. The second recommendation is that you should be clear about the Scrum retrospective goal. As we know, in a Scrum retrospective should help to inspect and adapt the Scrum system of work. And we understand for the Scrum system of work, the processes, the people, the tools, the interactions that go on into a sprint. Okay, so encourage team members to ask themselves, what is our goal in today's retrospective? Are we going to analyze the processes? Are we going to analyze the tools? Are we going to overview everything? What is it? What is the goal of today's retrospective? Also, don't be afraid to ask them, how does success look like after we finish the retrospective? What is that key output that we want to achieve? So, be clear about the retrospective goal. The third recommendation is to design an experience rather than an event. Your team members have busy agendas. They are human beings that humbly are coming to your retrospective to admit that they must keep improving. Hence, make the retrospective more of a gathering rather than an event. And that means make it empathetic. Check in how they are, how they're doing, what's their mood. And second, make it creative. Structure activities that allow the generation of the key information, but that also allows them to be engaged and feel comfortable as they think about their sprint and what's to be improved. The fourth recommendation is to be focused and extract the information on processes, interactions, peoples, and our tool that we need. After all, retrospective should provide information not only that allows our team to improve, but that allows the organization to achieve agility. And that means that we must help team members to be focused in the generation of insights that can help them and can help the organization. Hence, retrospective should not generate what we call generic outcomes. They should generate insights that help us improve processes, interactions, people, tool in our business and in our team. The fifth recommendation is identify bottlenecks or improvements. You should encourage team members to openly discuss what is it that is stopping them, to label those things that are stopping them, to map them out, to identify them. Don't be afraid to nudge them. If they're having some challenges identifying these bottlenecks, make use of data. The output or the product results, make use of blockers or conflicts that emerge into the sprint that can shed light into what are some possible bottlenecks. Nudge the team. Be prepared to do so too. Ask them what we could have done differently or better. What stopped us? Dig deep into it. The sixth recommendation is to identify solutions or improvements and monitor their impact. Retrospective should not be spaces for team members to only come and say we couldn't achieve this or weep about it. Retrospective should be spaces in which team members think of solutions and come up with solutions and improvements. Now, after those solutions and improvements are identified, monitor the impact of those actions. Which increase velocity? Which ones increase goal achievement? Which ones increase product quality? Which ones impact positively the team interaction? Register the best solution and the practices associated to it. The seventh recommendation is to promote ownership of solution. Yes, our Scrum team must work all together to remove blockers and to implement best practices. But it's great when within the team we have champions, those that are going to help us be accountable of the bottlenecks that we promise to remove, of the solutions that we promise to execute. So promote ownership of solutions. The eighth recommendation is to promote the introduction of the retrospective learnings as solutions into the next sprint. That means that the retrospective solutions, improvements, or learning must make their way into our sprint backlog. They must be executed in the sprint. Please, let's not leave those solutions in a pretty Word document or in a colorful post-it. Pretty documents and colorful post-its won't make great teams and great products. The ninth recommendation is to scale your team learnings within the organizations. Other team members within the organizations might face the same bottlenecks that your team faced, and they might benefit from the learnings of your teams and the solutions that your team came up. The best way to scale team learnings within organizations can be, for example, to generate cross-team retrospective learning tables, to showcase retro hacks within the organization, to create agile funds across teams to solve business bottlenecks and share retro solutions, or to create an agile center of excellence in which all the learnings from retrospective are documented and made accessible to all team members within the organization. These are only some ideas. The key thing is ideate how to scale your team learnings within the organization. The 10th and final recommendation is to gather feedback and keep improving. Don't be afraid to survey your team members about your retrospective. Let them rate it, let them give you your feedback, and integrate that feedback into the retrospective. This can help you make the retrospective more customized to your team members and to your organization and get better results. So, with those 10 recommendations, we hope you can make your retrospective more effective. Did you like the recommendations? We hope you enjoy them. Reach out to us if you have any questions at www.growthvikings.com or write to us at solutions@growthvikings.com. Thank you, and we hope that you can make your retrospectives more effective.